Khloe Kardashian is dragging up her past and her messy ex Lamar Odom to embarrass him and inform him that his own father wanted him dead for a payday.
Does he remember that you were the one who was in the hospital with him all those months?
Have you never thought, why did we ever stop talking completely?
No, I always think about that, and I know why.
While Ryan Reynolds can't control himself, and it's all at Blake's expense.
Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
If your wife was S.H., would you be making a joke about it? I wouldn't, but Ryan is, and that says a lot.
And finally, Bianca Sensori has had a wake-up call, so she's finally leaving her monster of a husband, Kanye West.
Bianca Sensori, believe it or not, used to smile.
Bianca, what took you so long? We've all been waiting for you to make your great escape.
Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Let's Get Into It podcast. Let's get into Khloe Kardashian. Now, I don't know why Khloe continues to do this to herself. I mean, I feel like she has the worst luck in men and relationships. So why bring Lamar back into the picture? Especially because like a few months ago, he was trying to get headlines by buying a blow up doll that looked like Khloe Kardashian. I mean, this guy is a creep. Hulu is running out of ideas when it comes to the Kardashians, so Khloe is reflecting on Lamar Odom's overdose, reminding him that she was there for him like no one else, even claiming that his dead father, oh my gosh, Joe Odom, wanted to pull the plug while he was in the hospital. Wow, okay, let's just like re-traumatize everyone. The reality star dropped the bombshell about his 2015 coma recovery on the Kardashians, saying, I was there when your father said pull the plug so he could be on your life insurance. Wow, so the dad just wanted to get that payout. Also, like, I hope Lamar knew about this and she didn't save it for the reality show to like, again traumatize him. I mean, I would be so distraught. Lamar's dad died in 2021, and while they had their ups and downs, it seems like Lamar tried to maintain a relationship with his father. But if Khloe's story holds, it really shows the extent of their strain. Khloe wanted to make this moment all about herself, emphasizing that it was her family supporting Lamar with Kim and Chris by his side while she was there through it all, which included 6 heart attacks and 12 strokes, which I don't want to discount. Like, Khloe was definitely there for him, especially for a man who was constantly cheating on her and a terrible husband. I mean, he does owe her that. You guys know we love a good story on the Let's Get Into It podcast. And that feeling when you find a story so good, it just takes over your brain. Well, you could find plenty of those on Dipsea. Dipsea is a female-founded app that delivers spicy, immersive audiobooks straight to your headphones. Dipsea has over 1,000 stories waiting for you. Right now, listeners of the show can get an extended 30-day free trial. Just go to dipseastories.com/Sloan to start your free trial. That's DIPSEA stories.com/Sloan for 30 days of full access for free. Visit dipseastories.com/Sloan. Do you ever wonder what makes a business thrive? It's not just the product, it's the platform behind it. That's why so many successful brands from Rare Beauty to Death Wish Coffee use Shopify, the #1 checkout on the planet. Whether you're selling on a website, in a store, or through social media, Shopify keeps your business running seamlessly. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Sloan, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Sloan to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/Sloan. But I also think it's ignorant to ignore that. I think it's like a little bit weird for her to now make it a storyline on like the 5th season of the Kardashian show on Hulu. Like, it just seems like they're running out of ideas. I miss the old drama. I want to see some chaos.
Does he remember that you were the one who was in the hospital with him all those months?
He doesn't remember how long he was there. I was like, we were there for 4 months. He's like, 4 months? I was there for 4 months? And I'm like, yep.
Now try to blow them out after you made your wish, okay?
And that's true. I mean, we did watch him like go through this recovery time period. So he did have a brain injury. He did not remember. So I'm not surprised on that front. It's so sad to see him in that state and to see where he is now. I mean, that is some good medicine. I mean, again, I don't know the extent of his brain injuries, but I wonder, do those kind of injuries change who you are as a person? Eventually, Khloé shared that she ended the relationship to protect her peace, especially after it looks like Lamar relapsed a year after his overdose. After he almost died, he relapsed again, which shows you how intense substance drug use disorder can be. I mean, it really can consume your life. You could nearly die and just be back at your same old habits as soon as you're back to normal again. That moment crushed her. She recalled punching him in the face and shattering everything in the house because she couldn't contain how upset she was, especially again after 4 months waiting around for him to get better.
This is your son. Do you know his name? Your son's name is Lamar Jr. And we call him LJ.
Do you remember why? Have you never thought, why did we ever stop talking completely?
No, I always think about that, and I know why.
Why?
Well, I mean, I could understand why she would be upset.
Because how I did drugs after that.
Why on earth would someone that went through all, you can't talk, I had to teach you hot from cold, diapers, to walk, all that.
You're doing so well.
The person that went through the coma to some person that I can't even really tell you what the...
I guess maybe during the time he was in this coma state, like maybe he just really has no recollection of that time period, which is fascinating how the mind can work. Like, how do you just bounce back to your old ways after going through that, seemingly forgetting it happened?
If he was even thinking.
But you had enough awareness to get a burner phone, to call a drug dealer, to get what you needed to get, to send security away.
Honestly, I feel like Khloé needs to leave her past in the past, even though she does keep around her other terrible man, Tristan. We've actually done a full deep dive on him before. We've also talked about Lamar, so definitely go and check out those episodes. Let's get into Blake Lively. Now, people do not like the fact that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were on SNL. They're calling it a manipulative tactic. They're trying to reposition themselves in the public to get some forgiveness. Probably trying to fix what Blake has broken, especially Ryan, because he cares about his image. Which is why I think once he got the call to go and speak on the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary, he was more than happy to go and say whatever he wanted to. And I don't even think he actually ran this past Blake. This person writes, whoever decided it was a good idea for Ryan to be making a joke about the "It Ends With Us" lawsuit, which is very sensitive, needs to be fired. Why would he and Blake Lively think this was cute? He isn't funny, and now we know what a lowlife he is. You ever finish a book or a show and immediately start searching for something new to obsess over? That's where Dipsea comes in. It's an audio storytelling app, but not just any story. These are immersive, steamy, binge-worthy audiobooks designed for the female gaze. Picture this: a mysterious stranger sits next to you on a train. A brooding billionaire has a secret only you can uncover. Maybe you're into gritty enemies to lovers slow burn, or a sweet love story set in Paris. With over 1,000 stories and new chapters dropping every single week, Dipsea always has something fresh to dive into. And let's be real, sometimes you just need to escape a world that's fun, thrilling, and just a little spicy. And the best part, you can try it for free. Right now, listeners of the show can get an extended 30-day free trial. Just go to dipseastories.com/Sloan to start your free trial. That's DIPSEA stories.com/Sloan for 30 days of full access for free. Visit dipseastories.com/Sloan. If you've ever dreamed of starting a business or taking your existing one to the next level, then you need to know about Shopify. It's the best all-in-one platform that lets you start, run, and grow a business, whether you're selling products, services, or content. And let me tell you, every major brand uses it. From Rare Beauty to Death Wish Coffee, they all trust Shopify because it's the #1 checkout on the planet, and for good reason. Shopify is designed to increase sales. For example, did you know Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%? That means fewer abandoned carts and more money in your pocket. And with Shopify, you can sell anywhere, on a website, in store, on social media, even in person at events. It's simple, powerful, and designed to make you money. And right now, you can get a deal with Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Sloan, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Sloan to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/Sloan. Before we react to Ryan's joke, I want to give you guys an idea of where you could see the situation from a perspective. I'm not saying you need to think this way, but keep in mind, Blake Lively initially filed a lawsuit. She did because she claims that she was not essayed, but sexually harassed, like something very sensitive, something that like victims go through each and every day. And there's so much strength behind that. The fact that there are so many survivors who can speak out and that they can have a platform now. We need to protect that space. And if Blake was violated the way that she wrote in that initial lawsuit, there needs to be justice, But wait, tell me why a man who his wife is the victim of sexual harassment, a very public case everyone knows about. It's her first time out on the red carpet since the back and forth with Justin Baldoni. Tell me why in the hell were they in the position to go and make a joke about a lawsuit where she was sexually harassed? Like where she feels like she was violated on several occasions? And now we're making jokes about it and nothing's even gone into the courtroom yet. We haven't had any trial. So Tina Fey and Amy Poehler are in on it, and they're the ones who line up this question for Ryan to go and give his punchline.
I have a question.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds.
Hi.
Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
So awkward because he's clearly alluding to the lawsuit that we've all heard about, and we're hearing a lot of personal details about your relationship, Ryan. Well, these two must be feeling very confident in their case if they're going to go and show face in Hollywood now.
Let's watch Kevin Costner's reaction because I think he represents everyone right now.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds.
Hi.
Hey.
And I just want to point out that he is looking at Blake Lively here because he wants to see her reaction. And y'all know we would be doing the same thing.
What have you heard? Yeah, okay. But my question is that that the materials that they made the cone heads with, are those edible?
Someone also brought it to my attention that Miss Anya Taylor-Joy was not impressed. Watch her. She rolls her eyes.
Got excited. Should they go to the hospital or should they?
Yeah.
Hospital or should they?
If your wife was S-age, would you be making a joke about it? I wouldn't, but Ryan is, and that says a lot. But as many have pointed out, Blake Lively's reaction really takes the cake. Here, she looks so concerned. As one commenter pointed out, that girl is walking on eggshells. I don't think Ryan fears for his career's future, but she sure as hell does.
It looks like Blake is seeking a lot of records from Justin Baldoni's team and his loved ones and his personal devices. She's literally so convinced that there was a smear campaign created against her because she cannot accept the fact that she's just been unlikable. I mean, do you guys remember that press tour? Blake Lively wants to go through Justin Baldoni's phone, and she's now fired off a legal demand to get that done in hopes of finding a smear campaign. Blake's attorney sent subpoenas to 3 phone carriers, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon, used by Justin and a bunch of people on his team and his production company, to go back 2.5 years to go and find all the evidence, everyone he's messaged, every personal text message, to see if they could find that he created this campaign, which I think is just such a violation. Remember text messages from Jennifer Abel and Melissa Nathan, who are both of Justin's publicists, were already featured in Blake's lawsuit against Justin, which alleges sexual harassment and a conspiracy to retaliate against her by destroying her image and career. Like these messages: just hired an intimacy coordinator who I love, will set up a meeting with you to FaceTime with her. Justin said that to Blake, and we actually saw that Blake decided she wasn't going to attend. So he's setting up the intimacy coordinator for her to be there and to feel comfortable, yet she doesn't feel like showing up. Blake's attorneys, Mike and Ezra, say the subpoenas, first reported by Variety, seek to expose the people, tactics, and methods that have worked to destroy and bury Blake's reputation and family over the past year. The words bury and destroy were allegedly used by Justin's PR team in reference to Blake, according to their texts previously included in Blake's lawsuit. Her legal team is strongly insinuating that Justin and his attorney, Brian Friedman, have not been transparent as they claim. They launched a website, thelawsuitinfo.com, vowing to reveal all the documents related to this legal war, but Blake's attorney says we will now receive all the receipts that, unsurprisingly, are nowhere to be found on the website. Meanwhile, Justin's attorney, Brian, is taking the latest moves in stride, telling TMZ that subpoenas are an ordinary part of the litigation process, but what's extraordinary about Blake's team is that they're looking for everything, every call, every text, every data log for the past 2.5 years, regardless of sender, recipient, or subject matter. This is a massive fishing expedition, and it demonstrates that they are desperately seeking any factual basis for their false claims. Get him, Brian. While Blake and Ryan are making sure they get their pictures taken on the red carpet, Justin Baldoni is spending some quality time with his family in Hawaii. Justin is a world away from Blake and Ryan, hanging out with his family in Maui. He was spotted hanging out with his family in part of the island, getting some lunch in Paia, which actually I've been to Paia. I love that part of the town, and it seems like he is minding his business. So good for Justin Baldoni. Hopefully everyone can just figure this out, because it seems like a frivolous lawsuit, and there are bigger things to worry about, but as long as it's continuing, I'm going to be paying very close attention, so make sure you follow the podcast for more updates. Let's get into Naya Rivera. Now, every time I talk about Naya, my heart breaks, because I grew up watching Glee, and the way that she died is just so upsetting and unsettling, and now her son is growing up. This headline reads, Naya Rivera's son feels guilty over her tragic drowning. Oh my gosh, my heart breaks, because he was too afraid of a big spider to throw his mom a rope at age 4 years old. Did your stomach sink? Mine just sunk. I literally feel so sad for this kid. Naya's ex-husband, Ryan Dorsey, has revealed the horrifying moment their then 4-year-old son witnessed the death of his mother on July 8th, 2020. Naya disappeared while boating on a lake outside of Los Angeles 5 years ago. Her son, Josie, was found sleeping on a boat, but his mother was nowhere to be found. 5 days later, her body was discovered, and it looks like it was due to a drowning. This is a dangerous lake, and it was a little bit, mysterious why she went there in the first place. I know there's still a lot of questions surrounding that. She vanished after renting a pontoon boat with her son. While he was later found alone on the watercraft little boat, Naya was never made out of the water and never back onto the vessel. So he was there all alone for hours as they looked for him and his mother. Here's a clip of Naya's family doing an interview talking about what they said to her before she went off onto that lake.
And do you remember what you said in those final
I told her, I go, well, the water's getting choppy. And I said, I love you. And call me. Call me when you get off the water.
Yolanda talked to her daughter from that rented pontoon boat as the devoted single mom set out for adventure on Lake Piru with her son. But hours later, the then 4-year-old Josie was found by another boater, asleep, adrift, alone wearing a life vest. Naya was gone.
So Ryan Dorsey is now doing interviews, and he says that Naya and her son, their son, were swimming on the lake when she noticed the boat they had rented had started to drift away. As she and Josie, her son, swam back to the boat, he was able to grab a hold of the tanks, and the son was able to pull himself onto the boat. But it looks like Naya was too exhausted to get herself back on. It looks like Ryan says that their son shared that he said the last thing she said was his name, and then she went under and he didn't see her anymore. It just rocks my world that he had to witness her last moment. He did this interview with People magazine. Josie's now 9 years old and still feels guilt over not being able to save his mother. Something he said over and over again is that he was trying to find a life raft and there was a rope, but there was a big spider on the rope and he was too scared to throw it. And that must be heartbreaking. I mean, since 4 years old, he's been traumatized with the loss of his mother, and now at 9 he still feels this kind of shame, and I think anyone in their right mind would just wish that he could be released from that pain.
It was a windy day. It's just they didn't have an anchor. Josie said the wind was blowing, and the crazy part is that Josie told me He told all of us, but he said, and he didn't tell me this for a while after. He's like, we jumped in, and I said, are you sure about this? She's like, yeah. He's like, oh my God, are we gonna die? And Mommy said, don't be silly. He said, and we jumped in, and that's what happened, you know? I guess the boat was getting away from them, and she told him to go back to the boat, and he swam back to the boat. And I still can't figure out. It doesn't make much sense how he was able to get on and she wasn't.
It seems like Ryan is still grateful to have their son here, saying, if we had lost both Naya and Josie, I don't know how I would continue on with my life. I don't know what I would have done, but I'm sure it wouldn't have been good. So sending blessings to their family and some peace and healing to Josie. Oh, poor kid. Let's get into Wendy Williams. Now, Wendy Williams was robbed by her own son. This is so unfortunate. Now, this headline, my son mishandled my money. No, I'm sorry, Miss Wendy, but he robbed you. But I still love him. She's too forgiving. I mean, literally too forgiving. The fact that she forgave Kevin, her ex-husband, so many times after he spent all of her money, got a woman pregnant, had another baby, and could care less about her, left her to rot in these facilities. I'm really against Kevin and Kevin Jr. at this point. While Kevin Jr., her son, has apologized for past mistakes and inappropriate behavior, the court is not convinced that he can keep her safe. Can you imagine? He's like in his early 20s. He's well, you would think capable of keeping her safe. But no, that's why we're in this mess, because he offered to take care of his mother, brought her down to Florida, stole her phone, stole her credit cards, spent all of her money. The bank was calling, hey, Miss Wendy, why is someone draining your accounts? Could not get a hold of her, and that's why she's in this guardianship, because her own spoiled child, who's been given everything, robbed her for $100,000 yacht date and things like that. This new documentary showcases Wendy's life in an assisted living facility in which she's confined to a room on the 5th floor where she doesn't get fresh air, no internet, and no one can come visit her. So it's like prison. Now, in my opinion, Wendy needs to be freed. Maybe she has issues with drinking. A lot of people do, but she doesn't need to be in this kind of environment. It's actually hurting her. A recent article came out with the headline, Wendy Williams moved to memory unit after a boozy lunch. Wendy Williams ended up locking herself up in the memory unit of the assisted living facility she's called home for 8 months. But it's not because of her dementia diagnosis. It's because she got drunk in the building's restaurant. An employee at the facility who has had numerous interactions with Wendy from the time she's arrived told TMZ that Wendy was initially placed on the 3rd floor of the building, which does not have restrictions on residents coming and going. She was there for a long time, and when supervisors found out, were told that they were furious that Wendy was served alcohol. Our sources say shortly after the incident, supervisors decided to move Wendy to the 5th floor memory unit, where she would not have free access in the elevator. The reason, they didn't want her going into the restaurant and getting drunk again, which is why she's now on this floor with the people who cannot remember anything, and they're telling her she has dementia, and she's locked up. It's so unfortunate because she's out here doing interviews saying, I don't have dementia.
Charlamagne the God is revealing that he had a phone call with Wendy Williams over the holidays and says based on his conversation, Wendy Williams could easily return to radio.
She seemed perfectly fine to me. Like, Wendy sounded like she could do radio tomorrow if she wanted to. You reached out to her, she reached out to you. How did it happen? Oh, she called you. Yeah, and I don't know what incapacitated means in regards to dementia or whatever it is they say she was dealing with. But no, there ain't nothing incapacitated about Wendy Williams. How was her energy? How was she sound like Wendy Williams?
Now, Wendy will be reevaluated by doctors who her new lawyer has found for her. She says she does not have frontotemporal dementia, a condition that gets worse in time, and she has gotten significantly better since the Lifetime A&E documentary. You gotta admit, I mean, she was a mess on there, and she seems pretty coherent now doing documentaries and interviews. Let's get into Kanye West. Kanye West and Bianca might be headed towards divorce, and I think this would be the right thing, especially for Bianca if she wants to save herself. Kanye and Bianca are heading their separate ways after 2 years of marriage. She's had enough. The swastika t-shirt he was selling was the last straw. She told him that's not who she is, and she can't be associated with that. He's saying that he has dominion over her and that he's selling those shirts. It reflects on her, and she doesn't want any part of this. I mean, good for you, Bianca, if it's true.
Bianca, what took you so long? We've all been waiting for you to make your great escape. And let's not call this divorce between Kanye West and Bianca a separation. Let's call this an escape. She is escaping, hopefully with her life.
Now, an insider notes that Kanye isn't too upset about this divorce because he believes Bianca will come back to him at some point, and she has a past of coming back after they split. Quote, he's saying that she's just mad at him, but right now she's told him that she is completely done. This isn't the first time that they have been plagued by split rumors. In October 2024, there was reports that they had been broken up and that he planned to move to Tokyo, and she was spotted in Australia with her family, so I thought that they were done then. An eyewitness who was at the Grammys also claimed they saw Kanye and Bianca arguing. She didn't look like she was fully on board with the scandal he wanted to create on the red carpet. It makes me concerned for what their relationship is like behind the scenes.
Bianca Censori, believe it or not, used to smile. When I Google old pictures of her, there are pictures of her smiling. But this is the face we see of Bianca Censori. No expression, no feeling or emotion being shown on her face at all. And even last night when she is dropping her fur coat and looking fully nude in front of the world, no expression. And that goes for Kanye West, who right now to the world is looking like her handler.
A second source claims that the couple's recent split rumors were not due to the Grammy scandal because Bianca actually found it exciting. It's erotic imagery, that's how they see it. Kanye was previously married to Kim, and he never put out Kim that way, definitely not in this kind of way, which is telling on how he respects or how he views Bianca. Kim recently spoke about her divorce with Kanye in the Kardashian show because, again, they're trying to figure out what the hell to talk about. She said, I've been there where you don't foresee something happening that really changes a person's personality, speaking to Khloe, and that they're not the same person and you can't get that person back, but you can't live with the new person. So again, divorce. It's tougher when you don't want your marriage to end off of personal reasons, but circumstances change that force your marriage to end when you weren't planning on that. And that's not really the outcome you want, but there's no other option, which she's right. She had to get out of there. Let's take a look at one of these clips together.
I've kept every single Yeezy. For me, I think this is like me holding on to the Kanye that I know. Also,
are they like technically not allowed to be sold because of everything he's done against the Jewish community? Actually, let's talk about that because on Instagram at Sunhooks, I made a post about how Hilary Duff got involved in this Kanye situation. Her man, Matthew Coma, actually sold shirts saying F Kanye on them to help Holocaust survivors. Hilary Duff and her husband are changing the lives of survivors because money from their F Kanye shirts are going to help mental health treatment. Matthew announced a plan to sell the shirts on Tuesday with a pic of the shirt. This came after Kanye launched his NAZI shirt, that nasty symbol. We're gonna go ahead and blur that one out too because I don't even want that on the channel. But yeah, so he posted on his page, so this is just allowed, and then he decided to make his own shirt to say F Kanye, which I'm sure he wasn't happy about. He probably sold more of those.
Just a friendly reminder that Kanye West isn't saying those things because he's bipolar. Manic episode, okay. But he is saying those things because he's an asshole. That is not bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder does not cause you to be anti-Semitic or homophobic, all that jazz. It's him being an asshole.
It looks like the organization that Matthew is sending the money to has actually confirmed that he did send that money over and that they made about $18,000. Wow. It looks like he's also matching the donations dollar for dollar. So it's not even sales. He's also giving up his own money. And it turns out that all this media attention around Hilary Duff's husband's shirt has actually brought a lot of attention to the charity, and they are able to help about 40,000 survivors living in the US. So, you know, kudos to that. We actually really appreciate that. Is like some good news out of something so really dark. Let's get into Twitch. Now, we all know Stephen Twitch Boss as the character from Ellen DeGeneres' show, who was always so positive and full of light. Well, it looks like his family is taking legal action in response to Allison Holker, the widow of Twitch, and the woman who's decided to go through his personal journals and publish them in spite of his family. I mean, this woman is a pig. She's got 3 children with this man, and she's exploiting him and his reputation, which the children are going to see that. This report says Twitch's family's done with his widow, Allison Allison Holker, continuing to make shocking allegations about their late son, and now they're taking legal action. Kanye, Twitch's mom, went off on Instagram blasting the misleading and hurtful claims in Allison's book about her son's life and death, saying that she can't focus on her healing anymore because she's got to protect his name and legacy and defend his honor. Kanye's not messing around.
Either of you have any interest in reading the journals?
I think so, just to feel closer to him, because these are his thoughts. Maybe get a clearer understanding. You know, he's my son, of who he was and what he was thinking from time to time. So yeah, I think I would.
What about you, Dre?
I would love to see all of the journals in its entirety. I think there's journals about his personal life, his marital life that are in there. I believe that there's been a cherry picking of things from the journal to reveal or share. And if we're just going to be completely honest, talk about it all.
The whole Boss family has now come together with another statement backing Kanye, slamming Allison for her disrespectful and evasive actions since Stephen Twitch's passing, and calling out the misleading and unproven accounts and the inconsistencies in her book. Of course, they don't even have a copy of it early because she's just really pitiful. They have a lot of questions that still need answers, so they're getting legal counsel to dig into the situation, and they even started a GoFundMe to help them cover it. Kanye and her family have also shut down claims that Twitch hinted at being harmed by a male figure in his journals, something very personal, calling that completely unfounded. They've also brushed off her allegations about Twitch having a serious drug problem. Let's get into Jay-Z. Now, the Beehive is having a great time tonight because Jay-Z's accuser dropped the lawsuit against him. That's suspicious. Now, I have some feelings about this dismissal. Okay, Jane Doe wants to take away their case, but at the same time, tell me, why are they doing it with prejudice? That means that it cannot be filed again, which means like this person is like promising to never bring this story about, and it's not only relieving Jay-Z but also Diddy. Now, what's really upsetting about this is that it's casting a shadow all over Diddy's case and making all of his accusers look like maybe they're unreliable, especially because this Jane Doe didn't have the facts straight. I mean, she said it herself, said that she made some mistakes. Her dad doesn't remember driving multiple hours to go and pick her up that night. She has no recollection of where it could be when it happened. A lot of lies, and it makes me really upset for a lot of the other accusers who are going to struggle to have their stories believed because this one got a lot of press.
After the alleged rape, she says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up and drove her home.
We rode home in silence. He didn't ask me what happened. He didn't ask me what I did or where I was.
In an interview with NBC News, her father said he could not verify the claims. Quote, "I felt like I would remember that, and I don't. I have a lot going on, but I mean, that's something that would definitely stick in my mind," he said. When we asked the woman about the contradictions in a phone interview on Friday, she said that she stands by her statements. "I have made some mistakes," she said. "Honestly, what is the clearest is what happened to me." The inconsistencies in her account of an incident alleged to have happened 24 years ago does not necessarily mean the allegations are false.
Jay-Z may have been able to get away from that one, and maybe he's got incredible powers that will forever protect him, but I've got my eye on you. Let's get into Harvey Weinstein. Now, I thought Harvey was dying in jail, our prison. That's the last I heard, but it looks like he's got some family drama. He's suing his own brother from jail, claiming his sibling tricked him into guaranteeing a $45 million loan, and then now he has to pay it back. Harvey filed a lawsuit Thursday against his brother, Bob Weinstein, and a Hollywood executive, David Glasser, former executive at his film company. In an audio, Harvey Weinstein tells TMZ that it was shocking to discover the fraudulent transactions that went on after I left the company. I now believe that a number of these executives played a big part in my demise. Not the creep who R-worded multiple actresses trying to blame these other executives. Ryan claims that his brother and this other executive tricked him into personally guaranteeing a $45 million loan. He says that Bob and David then diverted the money and left the company short on cash. So Harvey's now the one left with the big check. Which, not to be morbid, but if he is dying soon, then does that mean like that loan just goes away, or who has to pay it? Harvey says that Bob and David conspired to ruin him financially as a means to take control of the Harvey Weinstein company. The lender claims that the company defaulted on the loan and then sued, and this new filing is part of that same case. So they were going after Harvey Weinstein, and now he's trying to divert the attention back to his brother and this David guy. I would say good luck, but no good luck over there. How do you even close that? You know what? Someone better pay the bill. Someone. Good luck to the bank. Good luck to the bank on getting that loan back, because that's what happens when you deal with shady people. Let's get into Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco. So Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco are coming out with a joint album together, which is interesting because Selena Gomez told us a few months ago, like, I remember being in Thailand reading that she's quitting music. Yet she's got a new album out, and because they got this new album coming out, they're doing a bunch of press for it. They released a song already. She sounds very indie and hipster in it. They're doing a bunch of photo shoots. Even Selena Gomez's mom is speaking to the press. It turns out that Selena's mom, Mandy, played Cupid for her daughter and Benny Blanco over a decade before they became engaged. Selena said, it's actually very difficult to figure out. I was about 16 or 17 when she met Benny Blanco. Benny said, and we first had music come out in 2013 or something. Her mom set up a meeting between the two of us. This is right when I became big and she wasn't a singer yet. At the time when Selena met Benny, she was working with Disney Records and was starring in The Wizards of Waverly Place on the Disney Channel. Benny said, when she started putting music out, I was so into it. I feel like she was the original sad girl. The duo confirmed that they were merely pals when they first met. However, Selena said the transition from their friendship to a romantic one was very simple. Selena said, we got into the studio to work on a song and we just talked and it was easy for me. Benny, who previously collaborated with Selena's ex, Justin Bieber, said he had no idea that she had feelings for him. Selena said, I feel like you could be friends with someone forever but not know you have feelings until one night. And it wasn't until their second date that Benny finally realized that Selena's feelings were more than just a friendship. The second we started hanging out, I was like, oh, this is my wife. He was telling his mom, this is the girl I'm going to marry. Later in the interview, Selena's groom-to-be admitted that he was so pissed that it took this long for their romantic relationship to blossom. Well, that is a happy note to end on. I hope you guys liked this episode of the Let's Get Into It podcast. A bunch of hot topics you wanted me to cover, so here we are. Let me know what you want me to talk about next. You know where to reach me, sloanwellknown@gmail.com. Send me your topics and I will cover them on the show, or leave them in the comments below. We've got some great people out there leaving beautiful comments and I love to read them. I do read them now. I do. So thank you guys for tuning in. I love you all so much and I'll see you in next week's episode. Bye guys.